Yeah, we're now live, Madam Chair.
Yes. So have we got? Not yet.
Right, ready when you are, Madam Chair.
Have we got any apologies?
Yeah, Councillor Chloe Hopkins.
Right. All right. In declaration, to record declarations of interest by any member of the council or officers in respect of the agenda items listed below. Members declaring interest should identify the agenda item and type of interest being declared. Anybody? Yeah.
No interest.
No. To note dispensations given to any member of the council or officers in respect of the agenda items.
No dispensation.
And the first one is no. Right. So membership. To consider its external membership of the committee following the closure of the Beverley Christmas Lights Appeal Committee. And I think we already sort of discussed this and said, yes, please.
Yes, when it was agreed that this would become a committee rather than a working group, it was agreed that members of the Christmas Lights Appeal Group could stay on as non-voting members. They could be voting members if they wanted to go through the process of filling out declaration of interest forms like councillors, but sometimes the advice is more worthwhile than the vote because this often isn't a very contentious committee. However, it's subsequent to that the group has, for understandable reasons, decided to cease work. So it's now to see whether the council wants them to continue on this group, but more importantly, B, do they in their own independent right want to continue on this group? And partly because of their experience of the Christmas lights over the years to help advise as we're ongoing. So to some degree, it's up to Joy and Prue whether they'd like to continue, and if they would, whether or not we agree it, which I think I can anticipate which way that bit would go, but it's up to Joy and Prue.
Well, I'm happy to continue.
Good.
I don't know whether or not you want me to say that at this point.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And I think how we all feel yes, please.
Yes.
David, yeah.
So
do we have to? So what do we do now, Matt? How do we?
I think if one of the council would like to propose that Joy and Prue remain on the committee, and then someone else second it, and then vote on it, which you can see it being pretty swift.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose.
So we've got Councillor Willis proposed, Councillor Horsley seconds, all those in favour.
Well, Duncan wouldn't dare otherwise.
Don't believe this.
Yes, so that's right. So that's true.
That's agreed.
Good. Right, and to review of 2022, to consider issues arising in 2022 that need addressing in 2023.
Right, I apologise, Madam Chair, I was looking too far to the future. That should have been that arose in 21 to address in 22. But it's still it's still the same because the lights cover 2 years over winter.
I'm in the same position as you. I'm ahead of myself. Right. So 2021. Any comments?
So, Madam Chair, the first thing is the general discussion. You can see the other items below. So we'll be looking at considering some of the specifics. But it's just, I know there's been various issues this year. So it's just a general discussion about how people feel it went.
Yeah.
Well, can I start? I would just like to say how disappointed I really was with them. I thought it looked really scruffy this year, where we had 8 pieces in and out and whatever. And I think part of it, unfortunately, was that I think the East Riding are understaffed and whatever. So we're rather stuck with that. And the fact that, it just all went, things were, as ever, we started as early as we possibly could last year to try and get it going. And it basically didn't make a lot of difference. There was a lot of bits and pieces out. I mean, part of it was caused by the cameras the East Riding have used for footfall counting and this, that and the other. That's part of it. But I'm afraid, I think that the East Riding lighting department is swamped with the staff they've got. We were on and on about North Bow lights And, well, it took us 6 months to find out and get somebody there to look at them.
Yeah.
And really, I think that's one of the things, the uplighters at North Bar, that we need to pursue now. But the other thing I feel is that with the East Riding being so swamped, is that we should look at them doing the big pieces. And from what Peter said in that email, did we all get that email saying about how, how long it took them to put up each little blizzard and all these things because of health and safety, is that we look at somebody else to put up the pieces that come from the Christmas tree brackets. And also, besides putting them up, have them look at coming back and checking on the ones that aren't working and why they aren't working.
Yeah.
But before that, of course, this is a third or fourth year we've said it. We need a review of the timers and whatever. And we've been on and on and on about it. And we asked Peter specifically, I think, are you willing, are you going to do these timers and get them sorted and all synced if possible, or find a way of us repairing them? Otherwise, we need to look at a contractor to come in and do it, and book a contractor and sort it. We can't go on like this, I'm afraid.
I don't know.
Yes.
I'm so glad you said that, Duncan, because that's exactly what I was going to say. That I was very disappointed when I walked around the town and saw ones that weren't working. And like you say, it just looked bitty somehow. Yes. And we do need to sort. If East Riding can't do it, then we need somebody who can. And I think we said last year, well, this year, we need to concentrate on the infrastructure rather than getting new decorations.
Yeah,
And spend the money that. Yeah.
Madam Chair, that's been the agreement for the council for the forthcoming financial year to look at the electronic side of it, the timer side of it. One of the things that concerned me was that putting a little bit at the side, the number of the larger items that were fixed to lamp columns, etc., that went once up didn't work. And I couldn't quite understand why they'd all been tested, then put in situ, then not working, and not come back to resolve. I know there were the issues regarding some of the footfall monitors. And when we did get a late request to order some adapters, Carol ordered them as agreed, and the company let us down. But so they didn't arrive. So we've had the money back. But even so, that was only about 20. Carol was about 25 quid, something like that.
Hi, Carol.
They were 24.95. Yeah, the money's back in the bank. Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge purchase. But my concern was we were requested to get, but the East Riding requested we buy them that way.
Yeah.
But something that much, why could that have been purchased more locally by the people fitting them and then invoice us? But also the fact that request came really late on anyway.
Yes.
So even if we had got them, those items, if they had arrived on time, would have still only arrived a couple of weeks before Christmas.
Yeah.
So the request was the 8th of December, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah. So to get requests that late in, for some of the infrastructure was never going to pan out time wise to get them properly in time for Christmas. So they're the concerns I found. And through other things, I agree with Duncan that the East Riding, the officers who do the work for us, through no fault of their own, are incredibly under pressure. And as teams, there's been issues again with a lot of people being off with COVID last year, and as teams have lost people through either retirement or people moving on, those teams haven't necessarily been replenished. So you end up getting a team that used to be maybe 8, being a team of 4, will still expect to do the same amount as a team of 8. So I think the officers tried their hardest for us, but they were just so under pressure because it's not just the Christmas lights they have responsibility for, it's lighting as well, street lighting, other things. So the amount of work they have, and also
gritting as well, don't they, Matt? They do gritting as well, some of them.
Yeah, over the past year or two with COVID, there've been officers have had to move to different slightly teams to fulfill duties. So when gritting became an utter essential during winter, because they were down on staff, lighting from the team had to go and support that. So it's understandable to some degree, but I think that there is an issue with the East Riding overselling the ability of what they can provide. So it kind of moves us on to be on the agenda, which is the installation, to consider the potential of splitting the installation into two different elements. But as Duncan said, the East Riding managing the, let's call it the bigger infrastructure, the cross street items, the things that go on lamp columns, but getting another company to specifically do the little blizzards, because that's a very specific sort of job, to get them to do them once and check them once. But we do need to, before that, to get the East Riding, if it's going to be the East Riding, to sort out the timers, because the town council's budgeted next year 4 timers and to repair that system and put updated items in. So we really need the East Riding to do that as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Or to tell us that they can't do them and that therefore we must find somebody to do them.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I was disappointed. I mean, we got the thing up at the Cherry Tree Centre, but even then, we got a private contractor in to put the light sort, the plug source, the main source in, and he didn't even wire it in properly, which it's just did made. And I went round with a screwdriver and sorted it out, and even then it didn't go on properly because we couldn't get to it to check the box and whatever, because it was just everything was just so frustrating this year. It's been. But that's it. You're right, Matt. We need our priorities. And I think if we'd managed to get the bar lit this year, it would have helped. But they've been, it's our responsibility. It doesn't matter who's responsible. Well, it does matter whose responsibility it is. We just want it doing, don't we? Want those the uplighters on the bar. If we need new fittings, let's order new fittings and get them in.
Yeah.
And also, I think we agreed on that Christmas tree, but they said it wouldn't come until the week before Christmas. The one with boxes and whatever to go in Cross Street, and we're still all happy enough for that to go ahead, and we want to get it ordered now so it's there and ready for us next year, and we've got a year's warranty on it as well.
Right. So Madam Chair, be on the agenda. Shall I contact East Riding?
Yes, please.
I'll ask them about how quickly they could review the electrical infrastructure and the timers.
Yes.
And to quote for just installing and maintaining those larger pieces.
Yes.
Whilst also seeking quotes from other providers about installing and checking the little blizzards.
Yeah. Is it also worth asking them if they would let us know what they can't do so we can contact other contractors? Because that seems to be an issue.
Yes.
So is the committee happy for me to look at progressing those and look into those 2 aspects of it?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Can you also ask about the North Bar? Just let's get this North Bar thing nailed down. The North Bar thing, I know it isn't necessarily a Christmas thing. It's something that would be good for the whole year round, the floodlighting of the North Bar. It was paid for, I think, originally by the Civic Society or John Baird's, Christmas festival people, something like that, or the Aggie Court thing. But it wants, it needs redoing.
Yeah,
I think what I might do is request a meeting with Carl Roke at East Riding, because I did have a lighting issue regarding a street light matter that the East Riding, I've informed the East Riding of 6 months ago, which still hasn't been addressed. And he did inform me that Peter wanted to meet with me to discuss that, and that Peter should be at this meeting. And Peter isn't, unfortunately. I think I need to speak. I'll try and have a meeting with Carl Roke rather than just doing it all by email to actually have a discussion about these matters.
Would it be possible maybe for me to be there as well, Matt? I'd like to go if possible.
If the committee's happy with that?
Yeah.
If you leave that with me, I'll talk to Carl, try and sort out time, and then myself, Carl, and Duncan will hopefully discuss. And then that's 1 and 2. B and C in a way, because we won't know what electrical infrastructure needs repairing until East Riding's told us. And then, as Duncan said, do you want to feedback on the Cherry Tree Centre, Duncan? You said that we'd. Despite the fact there was the issue with the electrician, did it actually work, the lighting?
No, it didn't. No, it was up. We got it up in the end and whatever. I thought the Memorial Hall looked better this year with the extra bits.
Yes,
I thought
yes.
that was a plus. I thought we got so many more globes up, and if they'd been on, it would have been a successful sort of thing.
Yeah.
We didn't actually get the Beckhead done, did we? We got the two up in Station Square, but Beckhead and Salmon Road need addressing, don't they?
Yeah.
We need to get them nailed down a bit more. I don't know what people feel. I know Joy liked the natural Christmas tree in Cross Street, but I think we're sort of committed to this other big thing, aren't we? Which I think it would be a really statement piece there. I think that would be good. But do you want to put we didn't actually get a tree up where Lockings is, their tree, did we? Should we look at maybe putting a natural tree up there because we've got the fitting and whatever? If people like a natural tree, let's look at doing that, because I mean it seems overly expensive.
If we could just go back to cherry tree, what are you suggesting for next year, Duncan? Are we suggest we get another electrician in to sort it, or we don't deal with it, or we don't, or say we tried and it's not worked?
I think the problem this year was that East Riding couldn't go into the cherry tree centre and doing it. So I got somebody in to do it, and they didn't do it properly, which 3 cheers, happy days, won't ever use him again, but that's end of story, isn't it? But then they put East Riding subcontracted somebody to put it up outside. They put it that tight up to the thing, up to the wall, that we couldn't get at the box to check the timer on the box and this, that, and the other, and it all just rolled on, and that was it. I think next year, East Riding would be able to put it up if we give them plenty of time. I think East Riding would be able to put it up and check it before they actually, that's the thing. When they put it up, surely, but good people, you check it's working first, wouldn't you? Yeah. It isn't rocket science, is it?
I think from one of the issues that's rising, I think what we need to say to the East Riding is what we want when, rather than we want the Christmas lights up for Christmas. We actually give a date and schedule it, right? We want this bit of the town by that date. We want this bit by the town by that date, and this bit by that date to ensure there's then plenty of time to address any snags.
It wants to be mid-November.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we've got a chance to go back and revisit it. And also, hopefully, with it being mid-November, we aren't going to be looking at people being involved with gritting and that sort of thing and being called up on other things. That's because this year we also had high winds, didn't we? Which didn't help. And they blew lamp posts over and all sorts of things, didn't they? They had all sorts of infrastructure troubles this year.
So I could draft a schedule.
Well, is it not worth asking them to have it all in place earlier, say the beginning of November, even though we don't want to switch on at that point, so that we make sure they do it within the next, so if they do it late, it's still not too late.
They start doing it in September, don't they? But surely there must be a way of them checking that these things are working when they go up, when they put them up.
Yeah.
There must be a way of checking that the things that they've actually put up are working.
I think that was the confusion, that things went up relatively early, but then didn't come on at all. So it's combining that checking. So we could potentially still do cherry tree next year if it's installed appropriately. Yeah. When it comes to the real tree, again, I think there's quite a lot of feedback that it's nice to see a real tree, because we had one of the conical trees placed in Wednesday Market, and upon my suggestion, it was removed in the end because only half of it, the top was working, the bottom was working, the middle wasn't. Yeah. So it was better to not have anything at all.
Yeah.
So the part working, but if we could look at. If the committee agrees, we could look at
a real tree.
Putting an order in for a tree.
Yeah. Will I just ask about the tree in Cross Street? Because, well, I didn't go into Beverley at night time that much, but if I was driving from down up from Champney Road or down Champney Road, being able to see the Christmas tree wasn't lit. The one in Cross Street, there weren't any lights lit at all at night time.
Well, I don't know where that is, Prue, but it certainly should have been.
I saw it lit quite a bit, but it might be a timer issue. But again, it's making sure the timers are consistent.
Yeah.
Well, this would be sort of Well, different times, but I would think mainly early evening,
Well,
not late afternoon, more early evening. But I saw the tree, but no lights.
well, I think they didn't come on at first, but they were on later on.
Were they?
When the first sort of in time, you know, day-wise, I think they came on.
The other thing is that some of the strands we've got on trees round about the town, some of the strands are off, aren't they?
Yeah.
We need those looking at County Hall, the corner of Railway Street, and the ones in Wednesday Market. They want looking at and upgrade, you know, checking that they are working properly. Also,
what about the tree, the
and
M&D tree on Dyer Lane? Is that all lit?
It was lit, but I think there was another strand to go on, but I don't think it got on.
Right.
I think if we have the tree in Wednesday Market, I think we should have coloured lights on it.
Yes.
I mean, we've got that £3,000 in there that we could maybe buy those sort of things out of that money that we fundraised for.
Could we put purple lights on it as that was Locking's request? And I always thought the purple tree looked very good, didn't it?
It did.
What we could do is we could pre-order the tree pretty early to make sure we've definitely got a tree ordered.
We've got some better suppliers, haven't we, Matt, this time? We've found name of a couple of suppliers, I think.
What for tree? The actual tree?
Yeah, for the tree.
I mean, were we satisfied with the tree, or do we want to? A lot of it was because it was quite last minute.
Well, the tree was all right.
The tree was all right, but I thought it was. I think we could have got it, as it happens, a bit cheaper if we'd. I think the people who do the Lions one, you know, they had a very good source and it was a very nice tree. But that is something that I think is going to drop back into our plate, because I put it up this year with 2 or 3 of the Lions, and to be honest, what a testing time we had putting it up. I mean, the other 3 there are all in their 80s. We had a blunt axe and a thing, and it was we were there at sort of 3-4 hours, and it was outbound depth, and the health and safety. Because, Peter not Peter Jacobson, but this other Peter who comes with them, who goes up on a ladder, which I would not. They said, well, you can come in, will you do it? I said, I will not. I mean, it was resting on a little ledge, this ladder, and you're going, but, when I saw him doing it, putting him up, I thought, oh, my goodness gracious. And then when he didn't turn up to take him down, and said, well, can you get him down, Doug? And I said, well, no, to be honest, no, I don't fancy it one bit. I said, it's a health and safety nightmare.
Duncan, could you liaise with them to find out who supplied the tree?
I will.
And perhaps ask them, looking forward to this year, should we incorporate it within the rest of the town rather than them doing it individually?
I thought they got it from the Hotham estate. Or is that from years? Not anymore. Right.
Now.
But I mean, yeah, we should look at giving. But I mean, I think it is an essential part of the Christmas.
Oh yeah,
actually, underneath, if the Lions don't do it or can't continue with it, I think it's something we're going to have to take on, aren't we? Because I think it's such an essential part of Christmas.
I mean, it's just worth you having that delicate conversation with them, because it's better to know as soon as possible that we may be taking it on, rather than it gets near the time.
I think I'd be delighted if you took it on.
And as you said, the statement piece, the council's already agreed that, so we'll order that. I was talking to you yesterday about that, wasn't a Carol, that we can order that.
Yes. Yeah.
And when it's coming, if we arrange a time for them to link up with Duncan to meet him at the lockup.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I thought Peter's team assisted with the erection of the tree in the market cross, because they have a cherry picker and things.
No, they do the lighting infrastructure.
Right, okay.
But the 3-4 of us pushed it up. But the big thing was the base of the tree was too big for the stand. And I said, we have this blunt axe
and
now.
his little shoulder was killing him for days afterwards.
Excuse me, don't be patronising, darling. It doesn't become you. But honestly, my arm was nearly dropping up after we'd done this. And when we nearly cheered when it went in, and we had to get Gary from the news agents there to help put it up in the end, to push it up. And but you know,
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be
like
no,
that.
It's too,
No.
we're asking too big a question of them, and they shouldn't.
Well,
be
of
put into
yourself
that
as well,
position.
Duncan. You shouldn't have to be doing that.
No, you shouldn't.
Not at your age, you shouldn't.
I don't know. Well, I mean, I was having to go in the van because you're not in. I had to go and get the van from Andrews, who donate the van to Lions to do the bits and pieces. But I had to go because there was nobody else under 75 to pick it up. So you know, that's the state of play. I'm afraid.
Because it was the East Riding that actually installed the tree for us. We got it delivered to Beverley. They actually put the tree up, so potentially they could do the same.
Yes.
Yeah, and because they used the base that we'd used for the original cone tree, wasn't it? They used that to put the tree up in.
So again, we could discuss. I'll do a brief agenda to discuss when I get the meeting with Carl. We can discuss all these issues. And as I say, the statement piece we can order. It's already been approved, so if we can order that next week, Carol.
Yeah, okay.
And then he said, any other issues that need resolving. One thing I'd like to just mention is the switch on, because people get confused too. Is a switch on the town council? People, it isn't a town council event, but there's a perception of it and confusion with what happens at Flemingate.
Yeah.
Is it envisaged that that's something that the Lions would still manage, or is it something that maybe it's had its time and it won't continue again, or has it become a fixed thing of the calendar that it should continue? But if so, who?
Yeah.
Sorry, after you.
Sorry. Carry on. No, carry
I
on.
was just going to say, I went to the switch on, and I really do think it's past its sell-by date in the format that it is. It needs sort of something, because basically I think the only people that were there were a few of the old stalwarts like me who go every year to have a look at it, plus the parents or grandparents of the children that were singing in the choir. Other than that, and it went on for a long time. I think everybody was frozen to death. So
it was very cold.
It could do to be either shortened and bumped up a bit, or because I think the way it is now, I just don't think people will be interested in it in another year or so.
Yeah, and we had very few councillors there.
Yeah.
But again, it's not council. It's just a public event. It's not a council event.
I know.
I mean, it's and again, things like this. There's more legislation coming in regarding public events, and I think the event only just squeaks under not having to go through the more rigorous health and safety type of thing. You encourage more people. If you want to do something new to encourage more people, you then get into a whole bigger realm of health and safety and cost implications regarding that, unfortunately. And I know the rules are developing all the time at the moment. I've spoken to Natalie, who's coordinated the Jubilee for us.
We don't want to snub. It'll have to be done delicately, won't it?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm the man to be very, very delicate with the line. So we don't want to be seen to be shoving them out.
No.
But
I think you'd be pushing an open gate there, aren't you?
I would think so. I think it's getting that way. But traditions are traditions with people, aren't they? And we've just got to do it carefully, haven't we? That's the thing. And I'm conscious. And it's like when we meet the East Riding, it doesn't want to be a confrontational meeting.
No.
It wants to be, come on, we're in this together. Let's get, what can we do? What can you do? What can we do? Let's get it sorted.
It may be that something like the opening, if there is going to be something, another group may want to take it on. There's a new branch, strong branch of the Women's Institute. It has started.
Joy.
Yes, I'm a member of that.
I'm thinking of joining.
Yeah, well, maybe, but I mean, I think the Lions will still want to do their tree where they put the wishes.
Wishes and memories. I think.
Because I mean, I was having skeptical about that, but I was sort of volunteered one afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and it was sort of very touching, really. And I don't want to not do that.
I mean, that aspect still works. I think it's more the event situation.
Yeah.
But there's time to review that. So, I mean, I've made a note of the things that I need to go away and look at instead of the meeting. So the main thing is setting up the meeting with Carl Roke and going through the issues with him,
Yes.
and then bringing that back to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Whilst in the meantime, Carol ordering the statement piece.
Yeah.
And maybe Matt, you and I can meet for 5 or 10 minutes and just sort out the agenda that we have with them. Have we? Would that be a good thing before we?
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
get a meeting. I'll try and get a meeting in 2 or 3 weeks' time, and that'll give us time in between to get some stuff together.
Did the East Riding ask as the last thing about whether we need to take everything down every year? Or can we leave so much?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That was a question from Peter, because I know the town council do want lights throughout the year, and that can be the things like in the trees and stuff like that. But I personally can't see how any of the fixed infrastructure can be used throughout the year and not look odd throughout the year because they're very festive designed.
I think Station Square you could maybe get away with leaving it up, but I think the marketplace, I think it would look most peculiar if we left, and North Bar within. I think it would look peculiar if you left those up.
I think the Memorial Hall, I know that Annette could wants it taken down, but I can't understand why they don't have it up all year round.
Have we got
can we charge them?
Can we have a communication? Is there a direct communication with the chair of?
No, I don't have one. But when I emailed previous last year Annette about it, her feeling was that if it's there all year, it stops it being special at Christmas.
But it doesn't have to be on, does it? People don't notice it if it isn't on. But the other thing is, I think they had a problem with it flapping last year.
But this year,
we've secured the bottom. And so, to be fair to them, if they were having something on,
they could put it on.
Once or twice, if they have a Beverley Theatre sort of thing on for a week or a beer festival, they could maybe put the lights on and it would be a bonus for them. But I think Annette's fairly anti because they were a bit worried that they spent a lot of money putting the boards on that are behind them. But I don't think that hides the boards. But as I say, I think Annette's anti it. So we've got to maybe try and go down a different passage and say, listen, it costs us £500 or £600 each year to put them up. If you want to pay for it to be put up, otherwise we might start looking at another building that we can put them on within the town, and we'll put them on somewhere else.
That's confrontational, Duncan.
Yeah.
Is that confrontation? Well, I certainly didn't mean it to be that.
That is the blunt act. I mean, this might be completely impractical because of the cost implications. But I even thought at one point this year, what if we don't bother timing them? What if they're just on 24/7?
Yeah.
Because every year, for years, it's been the issue of them some being timed differently, and every year they're going to get all timed to be the same, and they never are.
The problem with it
on all the time.
Yeah, the problem with it is that a lot of them are going through private supplies, aren't they? Without keeping it. I shouldn't whisper things in this council, but I think you see a lot of them are actually wired into the local business premise. It's into all East Riding's power source that's doing it. I know it isn't much because they're all LED sort of things. So, but I think honestly, quite a few of them it's just has happened historically and nobody's picked it up. And I think, and also we will also have the thing of Green Warriors as well, isn't it? People aren't going to be happy about.
It's that mutual support. The lights provided and the electric's provided, so the two things come together.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing the flagpoles, the businesses have to put the holders in, but we'll be providing the flagpoles.
As I say, Matt, I think we'd be on tricky ground having the lights on 24/7 with power supplies and green sort of issues.
I mean, people are even saying that they're not going to light churches up at night time, aren't they? So, if the Christmas lights were on all day, I think people would be complaining, even though LED is more efficient. But I think that would be a bit of a dicey one.
Yeah.
Anything else you want me to look into?
I can't think of anything.
Do we know why? And I think it was only, well, I only saw one. So I don't know if it was any more. But one of the snowflakes, some of the bulbs had been replaced. So it was a mixture of blue and white. And I just wondered why it was blue and white instead of all white.
I don't know, Prue, because we ordered, Peter gave us a list of what to order to replace the things. I honestly, we can ask Peter when we see him, but
we just ordered what we requested. In fact, an additional for a little supply. So we can ask him that. And like I said, I think we'll have to ask him if he can be in the meeting with Carl Roke.
Yeah,
with him not being here today. I'm not sure there's much more we could do, Madam Chair, without me and Duncan having that meeting with Carl.
No, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so shall we?
As I say, I think Peter's building up to retirement, so it's going to be William as well, isn't it? So we need that William with us or whatever.
Yeah.
But he ain't really an electrician, I don't think.
Right.
In that case, Madam Chair, if you're happy for the meeting to end, I'll close it now on YouTube.
Yes.